can put your own variation on it, but we're just gonna have to just say Spragga. And you, well, actually, I want to see how you say it because you're gonna be the one that you're gonna be the one that puts stank on that.
I'm not saying
and ruins it.
Why I gotta be the one that's gonna ruin it? I'm not saying
because you will just use it against me in like a week's time or something like that.
I will not. I am not that person. You know that. Not that dude. Anyway, so should we get on with it? Let's just get on with it. Yeah. Spragga. And I was happy with Jenny podcast. What happened? What are we calling you now?
Something with she's J Rai Rai or something?
Rai.
Jamiroquai? What? Who? What did she say?
Rai. Jenny podcast. Like, what is that? What is that?
I don't know. I got the artwork ready and everything, and then she was like, "No, it's not. No, it's
I was
not
like, I love it. Change it." I mean, I can be Jenny podcast, but it's just a bit like, you know, it just hides my identity.
No, J Rai Rai is
J Rai Rai.
It's different. I like it.
Spragga, J Rai Rai. Fun.
All right, let's get on with it, man. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe. If you guys are listening out there, it's Von Joseph here with Liam Spragga.
I knew you were going to mess it up. I knew.
That was impressive voice control.
And Jirai over here with the red pants on and the chipped tooth. Tell us about your day.
No,
Should I not have put that out there?
That's fine. I had a bad cookie from Pret. Fuck you, Pret.
Oh, really? So that
yeah. To be honest, no. I mean,
girl,
I was saying I went to a dodgy.
Yeah,
I should. I was thinking I should go. Yeah. I should go in, march in, and be like, "This cookie."
Yeah,
stole my tooth.
Absolutely.
Well, it actually made me eat my own tooth.
So you swallowed it.
I was just like, this is really crunchy. This is really fucking crunchy. I'm like, that's like chewing on my own tooth.
Oh my god.
And that's what happens. Yeah, I think it was this cookie that had like caramel, salted caramel, and I don't know, pecan. And yeah. Be careful.
Basically, yeah, stay away from Pret and their salted caramel and pecan.
Yeah, Pret, you
cookies.
can fucking send
If you
me
want
an
to keep your
apology
teeth.
cookie.
Wow.
Now, you know what? I went to like a bit of a dodgy, like, all you can eat Chinese on Sunday, and I think that's where some like hard chicken did some like a bit of damage, and then the cookie just finished me off.
Wait, what kind of damage? I'm hearing new words that I've never heard before.
Well, I was like wrestling with the chicken, and it was like on a date, so it was like really like awkward. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to, you know, like
you were eating food with your hands on a date. What date was this?
Well, yeah.
What date was this?
Standard.
Speaking of dates, did you know that V2 and V3 went out on a date? If you know who those people are, shout them out on Instagram. Anyway, so I'm running that as my story
out there now
for weeks. So you went on this date, and what date number was this with this guy?
4.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but like
This
I already
is
like
getting serious now.
Yeah,
4
and we
days?
just had a week date last night.
Wow.
I know, serious. Fucking serious.
Week as in not strong or week as in weekday?
Oh, just like a weekday.
Oh, I was going to say.
I mean, that's like
we had a weekday.
A weekday on a weekday. What can I say? Oh, shit. Just rhymed.
So is this a guy you met on Tinder? Or
Bumble.
That's what it was.
How's your Bumble profile coming along?
I have a Bumble profile.
Well, that's where you're going wrong, Vaughn.
I don't need a Bumble profile.
If you came in next week
one.
and we were basically like, yeah, you've got one now, what would you say? Like if we had done it for you.
Yeah,
and,
okay. Have fun with that.
We will.
but we're sending them here.
Yeah,
it's going to affect you.
That's not going to happen because no one's coming here from Bumble.
He only accepts Tinder dates.
Duh.
He knows that D2F.
Freaking standards, dude. Come on. So, yeah, well, congratulations on it. Oh, yeah. Let me zoom in on that. That's all right. You can't even tell unless you open your mouth. So,
yeah. I was gonna say, because it's gotta work. It's like, no. If I'd seen that, like, if I met you the first time and your teeth were like that, I'd just be like, yeah, cool. I'd be like, what the fuck? This is like a funky tooth situation.
It looks like you've been opening bottles with your teeth. The one time I cracked my tooth like that was the same tooth.
Yeah.
And trying to think of how I did it. I think I turned into a door.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Actually, like I was, I turned and then wham.
Oh, right. I thought you thought you were a door. I was
No.
getting really confused.
See, you are just taking this
Came
to a
at the
whole nother level of like, I'm
Weird.
stood there and I'm like, you can't come in. I'm the fucking door. No. I turned and I whacked into the door frame, I guess, and cracked the tooth. So you need to get that fixed. I would sue Pret or at least bring it to their attention immediately. And they'll pay for it. They'll definitely pay for it.
I hope so.
Bro, get them to pay for more than just a cookie, though.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to
geez.
pay for the tooth, not the cookie.
What else am I
Fuck
going to get?
them,
I'm like,
cookie.
yeah. Then I got
You're
like...
so English. Well, they need to pay for more than the cookie. You're thinking about the cookie. I'm thinking about, like, you need to get all
I feel like they're just going to say, all we're going to do is pay for your cookie.
And a glass
and
of
we'll
milk
give-
to help the calcium with your teeth.
Right. It'll grow back. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
Hey, it's going to grow back.
Yeah, it'll grow back. Have some
At the
milk.
age of 34. I'm
Have
just
some
like...
milk. You'll be fine. So, how's this guy that you're going on a date with or went on a date with? I'm getting all in your business. Cause I don't
Wait,
care.
how old or how was the date?
How old? I don't care how the
Oh,
date
he's
was.
34.
Yeah,
Same age.
so same age. No, I don't. That doesn't have any effects on me if the date was good or not. I want to know about the guy.
Oh, it would have an effect because if it was bad, I'd be projecting my shit all over people. I'd be smashing shit up.
Awesome. So I hope you
Bad
have
Boy Studio.
Yeah, I
you
know,
don't,
right?
You don't want it to be a bad date if
Yeah,
it's coming in next day.
keep up the good work, whatever your name is out there. 34 and
Vincent.
Weekday date, Vincent Vega.
Oh my god, I got a shot.
Vince Vega.
So Spotify, complete 360 here, or 180 or whatever, is giving away premium users a Google Home Mini for no reason at all. So that's cool if you're a Spotify customer. You were saying that's great because if you're an existing customer, you tend to get the shaft when it comes to promotions, and I hate that.
Exactly. You need to reward loyalty.
Agreed. So,
Why the fuck am I not getting one?
do you have Spotify Premium? Oh, yeah.
I do.
I do too, but because we're in the UK, we don't get one.
Fuck you, Spotify.
I know, that's messed up. So, sponsor the show, Spotify, and you can listen to the show on Spotify.
Fuck you, Pratt. Fuck you, Spotify.
She's got a list.
They're
of
not
places.
sponsoring anymore because
I
they've
know.
just been told to fuck off like several times.
It's fine.
thanks.
It's reverse
Yeah, thanks.
psychology. They're
Trying to get this shit started again.
Bag.
So apparently they're giving away these little Google Home Minis for no reason at all.
It can't be no reason.
There's always a reason, isn't
Exactly.
there?
There's something more
always
sinister
a
than this.
reason.
Google is probably behind this. Does Google own Spotify?
Oh, yeah.
For a start. Does Google own Spotify?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
No.
Google just wants to get all of their little minion boxes out there so that it's sat in someone's living room. So every time they say, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we had, I don't know, pizza for dinner? Suddenly you start getting bombarded with adverts on your phone, on your laptop and everything else on your network because Google is constantly now listening in on your house. Spotify and Google have come up with a partnership to rule the world via home mini devices.
God damn, how did you go from me getting a home toy to world domination?
Because
That's what I'm
just
thinking.
because it's
bigger.
free,
It's bigger.
it's bigger than just
Like
Spotify.
the FBI, CIA are listening
Okay.
in
Well,
conversations across the US.
I disagree.
when I heard
I totally
A lot of
agree, but I have
shit
to disagree.
Shift with, yeah.
when what I heard a while ago was when something is free, then you are the asset to the company. When something is free, when you're not paying for something, you are the reason
That
why
sounds
it's
like
free.
a good meme.
Exactly. So the fact that they're giving it away for free, obviously there is a nice element to it. It's nice to get anything for free, but sometimes you got to kind of look at the reason why.
So this
you plug in this Google thing.
it starts listening to all
It
your
starts
shit in
listening
your
to
house.
everything.
It starts. So there's a couple reasons why they might be doing. Well, there's not a couple reasons. There's one main reason. Like you said, they want to have you as a product. You know, your data is the most important thing on earth to them. You know, it's selling you stuff is the biggest thing. So, this reminds me of a film Samuel L. Jackson was in. They were giving out SIM cards to everybody for free. Kingsman. Same thing.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a free SIM card. Did you ever see the film?
You must have seen Kingsman.
Yeah, but not the one with Samuel L. Jackson.
That was Kingsman. That was the first
one. Yeah.
There's two.
What's the film with Colin Firth?
Both of them.
Alright. Was the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember now.
Right. So they
Where is
had
kidnapping all the world leaders?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it,
His plot is to give away stuff for free, and everyone clamours to the shops because it's free, and who doesn't want free stuff, and it's great, and it's free data, and it's free blah blah blah.
I didn't want free stuff now.
You don't.
I want
Well,
free stuff.
what you guys just
I want
said.
free stuff, but I
I'm
want
just
someone
gonna be like, no.
I want someone to just give me something, and if they are going to give it to me and not want any strings attached, then that's great.
Well, strings are always attached, isn't that what we're always saying?
Everybody wants stuff for free. You went on a date last night. Did you pay for dinner? So back to the Google Hubs. Yeah, the strings attached to those strings that are going to be binding her hands later of the weekend. So when she's in her little French, what she say, little slut outfit or something for Halloween,
excuse
she
me?
has to wear.
Oh no, this is escalated very.
This is
very,
what
very,
you
very
typed.
quickly.
This is what you typed. Anyway, I don't know what you're wearing on Halloween. That's the one night of the year when women get freaky with their outfits. And think,
Yeah,
it's
but
okay.
I've done the opposite of that, and I was talking about this the other day. So when I was at uni, and I dressed up as this zombie cheerleader,
Right.
and it was actually like my party, and people didn't recognize me, and they were like, "Who's that fucking gross girl?" Like, she's rank. I was like, "It's me, it's Jenny."
That's a bit, well,
And then, oh, so rank. Yeah, so then I had to kind of learn. You have to strike a balance, you know.
Right.
You don't want to go for the slutty look. That's just cheap. That's shit. You want to be like a bit of edge,
No,
but
no, no.
also still
Hey,
relatively
go for that
attractive.
slutty look. I want it as slutty as possible. I don't complain about that at all. Sluttier the better. I want to look at it. So, yeah, they're giving these hubs away. These whatever they're called. More people talking. They can pick up more information. Their angle is we're teaching these devices how to learn faster because we got them in more homes. So we can test your voice patterns better. If I've got them in 8 million homes instead of 2, we're taking a hit now. It's Google. How much money does Google have?
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so they've got all this shit in surplus. Apple does it. I don't have an Apple phone, but Apple does it. So if you go to the website and you see their line of their phones, remember Apple used to make one phone. They used to do one phone, and when I worked there, that was their thing. We're only doing one phone, and Samsung's got 6, you know. So they do one phone, but then they did the iPhone Color, and then they did a phone alongside of that in case you don't want a plastic phone. So, long story less long, when they start developing all these phones and they have surplus, they change a little bit of the phone. But they keep the housing and everything is the same, so that we can resell it. It's the iPhone 6S Plus or whatever you want to call it. So, Google has all these little home devices in a warehouse around the country or whatever. And they're like, we need to get rid of them.
Yeah,
they're not
they're probably
selling.
Yeah.
Right. We might as well take the loss, give away, I don't know, $300,000 worth of these toys, and we're going to potentially gain them as customers down the line because they're going to fall in love with this device, hopefully. 25% of the people will. So they're going to buy. And once we start doing what Apple does and updating the software and it stops working because we're doing the updates, because that old device can't handle the new shit, then you're going to have to go buy a new one if you like it.
This is losing the battle to win the war,
Yes.
ultimately. And I mean, they're not even losing the battle anyway because they make enough money, and and these devices themselves probably cost them like $3 to make, and they sell them for $50 anyway.
It's a loss
So
leader.
really, so the amount of people think they're going to lose, people go by like the retail prices to like, oh, that's how much they're losing. They're not losing that much. They're not even losing anything close to that much.
No.
They're actually losing probably like 3% of what you think they're losing. And even then, just having that 25% who use it and actually plug it in and then like hear it, they'll make more money off those people, off that group of people anyway.
Yeah.
That it won't. That it's almost like a perfect investment because it's hidden behind something which is like great for the brand. But don't believe it. Do you have a home device? Well, I know you got given one, but would you use?
I've got a Google Home Hub, so I've already got one. It's not that one, but it's actually got a screen. Right.
Oh my word! Okay.
Right. So
they know they're already listening to you anyway.
Exactly.
Jesus.
So there's evidence right there of what's happening. All I said was, I've got the Google Home Hub. And this bitch started talking. Shut the fuck up. You do that. So the point is yes, I've got one, but I only like it because I can say set an alarm for 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. I don't use it to the level. Like, I've got a friend, their whole house is connected to that shit. You know, the lights, the music, all that shit. You can come in, turn the lights to whatever, all that stuff. So I don't have a problem with technology being in the house. You can fight it all you want, but it's what's going to happen.
Yeah, but what if it turns bad?
Well,
like a Black Mirror
It's going to
episode?
turn bad. It just needs to be monitored and controlled, I guess.
Well, I'm just thinking, okay, like what, let's say, not your friends per se, but somebody's house was controlled by technology.
Right.
And then you're a burglar with some fucking hacking skills. And you're like, right, I'm going to target that house. I'm going to send a virus to all their devices. I'm going to like make sure like all the doors like are shut. There's not going to be any lighting. There's not going to be, I mean, this is like entering this quite...
It's also going to be easier for people to hack into people's devices, because if it's all on like a Bluetooth or a Wi-Fi network, if you can hack into the Wi-Fi network, you can hear everything people are saying. So you could eventually hear people's routines.
Yeah.
If someone says, someone just says out loud on the Google machine, we're getting a cab at this time tomorrow. We're going to go on this flight. We're all going to be away for 2 weeks. Blah, blah, blah. Make sure, Google, you turn off the lights and and keep it off, and make sure, like, if anybody comes in, that you turn the lights on. But like, if someone can hear that and they can also hack into the software, then great. 2 weeks away, no one's going to know for 2 weeks. So I'm going to come in and take all your stuff on day one, and then I've got 13 days to chill before the police start coming after me.
Yeah, that's true.
We've got the stuff in a lot of our devices already.
Siri and
the phones and
everything.
right, every phone has that. It's a matter of whether or not you turn it on and use it. We have cars that drive themselves, which I think is amazing. That's just really cool to me that I can just say, take me to wherever, and the car does it. You went to lunch somewhere the other day? And there was a robot or something?
Yeah. The Chinese all you can eat. Well, the thing is, we went there because on the website it said you would be greeted by a robot. But the robot was pretty much just like switched off at the entrance. So...
Was it literally that you're greeted by the robot just in that it's there by the front door and it's not actually greeting you?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe on another day it was working, but then I was thinking, what if like the robot like turned on people? Like I had to switch it off.
You've got this proper like iRobot view of what's going to happen with robots and people at some point, and like it's going to greet you at the door and then just push you back down the stairs or something like that.
Yeah.
She's got this major view that like robots are suddenly one day just like they're going to have like green
Why
lights,
wouldn't
and
they,
one day
though?
they're just going to turn red and just like...
But why wouldn't they? Don't you think that they would, or they could?
Oh, they could.
Okay.
Because we're constantly trying to sort of like push this boundary of like what technology can do for us and whatnot. We are inevitably going to create some sort of technology and some sort of AI that ultimately decides that humanity isn't the way forward, like Terminator style.
That's exactly the answer that I was going to give you if you didn't have it already.
Of course I had it.
So we create these robots. Robots are problem solvers, or computers. That's all they are. They're computers. And they realize that we're the biggest consumers of
We're destroying the planet.
everything. Right. So we're the biggest threat to why things are failing. So they would start eliminating us just naturalistically. We would just be...
If you made all of your if you made everything sort of based on a digital database, so if everything was controlled by like some massive supercomputer somewhere, for example, and you had computers monitoring like what like we're doing to the air quality and blah blah manufacturing and all this kind of stuff, then ultimately a robot that was clever enough would realize that the reason that the planet is dying and global warming etc. is because of human activity, and then that robot could then also decide to then just sort of change things around and just kill people off.
Yeah,
so that robot could just be like, I'm going to change how crops are fed, and we're just going to feed it with a poison instead of something which is like an insect repellent, and then just take people out en masse. And that's where it's sort of headed, but that's, yeah.
Damn. So much for my evening.
Wow, that's bleak.
Yeah.
Spragger's got the answers.
Spragger.
I thought I'd just push that last one out of you, but then let it happen
Last
organically.
one.
Oh no, it's not the last one.
Oh, it's not the last one. It's definitely not the last one. So, I don't have an aversion to the stuff. I actually think it would be great once we finally... You've seen Humans before. Have you seen Humans TV show? You've not seen it? You've not seen it either? Oh my God. Go watch that shit.
Seen like 5 minutes of it. That's where they are ultra realistic humans, like robot things.
So they look like people.
Okay.
But their main purpose initially was like a housekeeper or whatever.
Yeah.
So you've got a nanny that lives in the house. She makes breakfast. She looks after the kids. Blah blah blah. But then they evolved into where you have like older people. They live by themselves. So the NHS will provide you with this robot as a companion, etc. But then they work in bars, and then you have normal people that are like, they took our job, and they want to kill them. They want them done.
And they can tell who the robots are.
They have
it's quite hard.
Their eyes are generally a bit. They're green, I think. Their eyes like green, like really green, like slime green. So yeah, there's a revolt, but then there's safe places where they can go, and this has evolved to this point.
But then if I was like those people who are like, oh, they took my job, I'd be like, same time, aren't they doing you a bit of a fucking favor? Like, if they can... Well, actually, then again, like, robots are able to perform surgery these days. So it's not like on the basis of like, oh, that's like a low education job, whatever, so therefore we get a robot in there. But I actually think that robots who could do those sort of jobs would be doing society a favor, because then we would have to like refocus our efforts, and maybe human beings would concentrate on more creative pursuits, because I don't think creativity can really be bottled, and like robots are more prone to display that.
But we need people to bag our groceries, though. Do you bag your own groceries at supermarket?
Oh,
you go to the self-checkout.
Oh, God, don't. I literally just have like a bitch for every time.
I bag my own stuff all the time. I've never had someone put stuff in a bag for me.
Well, you go...
Never.
They check your stuff out, though, right? You go
sometimes. Oh no, more often than not now I'll do self-checkout unless I've got loads of stuff. Then I'll do self-checkout.
Yeah, most of the time I do self-checkout, but then something always goes wrong. You're getting alcohol, and then you have to wait for somebody to come and check. It's so annoying.
Yeah. That's it. All right.
So it's easier, but not as easy. But now we're taking away jobs from people that need that job, I think. But
maybe those people could do something else that would be maybe a bit more fulfilling.
Against that, not all people are hugely creatively inclined.
That is true. That's true.
But also, you do at some point, because at what point do you draw the line in terms of what robots do compared to what humans will do? And then when it starts to become a bit more difficult to define that line, you are literally just left with so many people that cannot work because there just aren't jobs, because there are no more people that serve you drinks, and there are no more people that even just check you into your hotel room, and that people that take your bags.
Anybody to do that.
That's what I'm saying. But like
when
all of those jobs go all together, when we get to the point where like you walk into a hotel or a bar or anything, and there is not a single sole person that is actually working there, that's when you have to be some sort of programmer or creative person, or that's you.
But at the same time, robots are never going to replace people completely in those service sectors, because what's one of the reasons you go to your local bar or pub? I mean, maybe it's because the barman is particularly friendly, you have a bit of a chat with them. It's never going to be, well, right now, I would never think like that interaction with a robot is going to be comparative.
What about if they do make it?
Well,
what about if they make it?
But like right now, it just feels like very abstract. I can't imagine.
In the same way that like a Google Home may be able to sort of interpret like 4 different people's voices, for example. If you were able to walk into a bar and it was able to recognize 1,000 different people's voices, and it was able to speak to you as if a person speaking to you, and like remembered what you do, and was able to ask you how your day was, you're not looking at a person, but you're still getting the same.
But it wouldn't have as much value as compared to a human person who actually remembered you because you're thinking, wow, they actually might care about me a little bit, as opposed to a robot who's programmed to do that. So the sincerity level will be non-existent.
But what if you don't know that it's a robot, though, or an android?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Like on the TV show, you can't tell.
Okay.
They look
It's like
normal.
the green eyes.
Right.
every
Some
once in
of
a
them.
while.
Not all of them had the green eyes. I think some of them
Oh
maybe
my
had
god. So
contacts or something, but you couldn't tell.
what if you're... So, like, the people in the show, do they ever get into relationships with these robots unknowingly?
That I don't know if they've developed a plot line for that, but I know that there's a setting on these robots or these humans that you can set for it's like a sex mode or something like that. So like if you own it,
Yeah.
they're the nanny and they make your breakfast and they pick your kid up from school or whatever. But there's a setting that only the primary owner can override, and then they turn into these animals. I am down. If you want to test that, send it over here. So I think that's great. I think that's great.
Though, what really? It's kind of like
No, I think that's perfect.
Having a prostitute. You
No,
just
it's
be like,
not.
Great, I programmed them, paid them
How
to
is
have
that
sex
like
with
having
me,
a
rather than
prostitute?
having another individual who's like voluntarily wants to have sex with you. I mean,
What about if you had both though? Because how would like a wife or a husband think if it was just like it's not a person? They're just it's not any kind of love. It's a robot. I still have my time with you, but like if you're not down for it one night, then
Well, I think
Nanny is over here is ready to go for she'll keep going.
I think it's a bad situation. I mean, but that's the thing. I mean, you would have to have that human interaction or whatever, but maybe like the robot one is just like purely physical, and I think that could work. I think that could work. Yeah.
She's sold.
Wait, so you've come around to it now?
That was easy.
You're on board?
Because we were just solely just talking. Well, from what I could decipher, just talking about solely having like sex with a robot, not like
No.
Oh, okay.
No, come on. I'm
Oh my
saying.
God, what if you had like a robot like human orgy? I mean, that'd be cool.
But what if
I don't-
so if you were you're married, for example, and you've got a robot that you've been able to, you're the primary owner, and you've made this robot who's who's your like celebrity crush?
Ooh, because they make sex dolls like that now.
All right.
So-
you wanna
or
do
your
a
top- or
plug
your top
for your
three.
sex dolls?
Who's
Yeah, hit up siliconeslut.com and we'll give you 5% off. Anyway, silicone tit. No, siliconetit.com. Siliconslut.com is not up right now. And silicone tit, some of the shit's out of stock. Email us at admin@siliconetit.com. If you
Wait
need
a
some
second.
stuff, we'll
Do you
give
do
some
sex
stuff.
dolls for women?
Yeah, I've got everything for everybody.
So
baby.
should that be called like silicone dick?
So what? All I heard was dick from that.
Yeah.
Same
All I
for
heard
some
was
reason.
Okay, you
Suddenly,
have
yeah.
silicone tit.
Yeah, well, that's just the name of the website.
Okay, but then I would feel like if I was a woman and I had that name, I'd be like, no, I'm not going to get a female sex doll.
Well,
But
how
I think you're going to have
many
silicone
women
dick.
visit the
Silicone
website?
D.
5%. 95%
Oh, yeah,
are
because
men.
of the name. Because of the name.
Yeah, okay. That's no. So, I think, and this is just coming from my mindset right now because of my life, I would be on board with having a female android in the house that looked and had all of the accoutrement of a woman, and I didn't have to deal with any of the emotional bullshit. I'd be absolutely fine with it.
Okay.
Why are you looking at me with disgust? I'm just saying, I think
Just
it's
my general look.
less hassle.
Would you let?
It sounds like a fucking prostitute situation.
How is it a
So
prostitute
you're substituting
situation?
a
She's cleaning the
prostitute.
house, too. The prostitute comes over and
No.
vacuums the fucking floor.
Now you're
She's
just talking
hired.
about bang. Are you talking about bang maid now?
Bang maid. Is that a website?
No, it's a term
Okay,
from.
gotcha.
Well, the first time I heard of it was from when it's always sunny. It's always sunny in Philadelphia. I interviewed her. Yeah, he's talking about trying to get bang made.
But would- no, what was I going
Cook
to say?
for me and clean up after me.
Oh.
And somebody will do
I thought you had
everything
gone on
I
the
say.
actual website.
That's just a maid. You want a maid? Yeah, that's right. A maid. A maid I can bang. Well, what the hell, man? I mean, I thought we had a pretty sweet thing going on here. Am I wrong? I mean, we had a good deal going on. Yeah.
Yeah, you kick your friend out. You get the bang maid. I'm down, dude. I'm down.
But like, I don't know, you could model some male maid on all of your favorite celebrity crushes all into one. Take all the
you know
best
what?
bits.
You're talking to the wrong person here. It just wouldn't work for me.
No?
Yeah, I've actually realised found this term that kind of just, I'm a demisexual.
I think you said that to me before, and I was like, what does that mean?
No,
I don't know
I
what
just
that means.
I literally just found it out the other day. So it means you have to have an emotional attachment
No,
to somebody to find them sexual.
You didn't say that to me. Somebody said it to me. And I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, somebody asked me about that like recently. Who was your teenage crush? And I did have a poster of Kelly Jones from the Stereophonics, but it was just I just bought it just for the sake of buying it. I wasn't like lusting over this poster, you know. So I don't think the whole robot thing, that robot D, not going to work for me.
So do you use any sort of that robot D be tearing that pussy up? That shit will be wearing it out. Like when you.
I realize I'm just going down a very slippery slope right now.
The slippery slope, man. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Whatever. So on your phone, you've got an iPhone. Do you use Siri at all?
No.
Never.
No, I try not to. I just don't really
Why
see
do
the
you
appeal.
try not to?
It's not like I try not to. I just don't really see why I should.
Why you should.
Yeah.
Do you use other apps on your phone, though? Of course you do.
What do you, I
Everyone
use
uses
apps on my phone.
How does that differentiate between talking to the phone directly and asking it to do something from asking an app to do something? So whereas you're typing in Google Maps, whatever, you know, and then you type in an address, how does that differentiate from you just saying, hey Siri, how do I get to?
Yeah, true. I think maybe just psychologically, I think by typing in, I feel like I have more control. I know that doesn't quite make sense right now,
No.
the way you're putting it, but
No,
I
it
think
doesn't.
that's how I feel. Yeah. Plus, most people are like, oh, Siri. It's like, they just sound like, they sound like a dick. It's just like, oh. Yeah.
So
There's something not cool. There's still something like not cool about using Siri, like in public. Like if someone was just to pull out their phone and just be like, "Oh, hey Siri, what's the weather going to be like in 5 minutes?" Everyone would look at them right now and still be like, "Yes, Sam."
Yeah, exactly.
I
Absolutely.
think that will change.
That will change, but
Very
right now
soon.
it's really not cool still to
Yeah.
like in public be like all over that. You're gonna say you use Siri in public all the
I
time,
don't
aren't you?
have an iPhone. Fuck Siri. I don't know. I don't even use whatever is on that phone. Google, whatever it's called. Does it even have a name? I don't know what it's called. But no, I don't use it. Yeah, so I hear what you're saying in that respect, but I don't have a problem with it. We're doing it anyway. I'm manually entering it, and now it's easier for me to not manually enter it, especially if I'm driving or whatever the case may be. I only have one free hand.
But you know what? It's
Hey
the
Google,
whole...
take this phone number down. And this girl's giving me her phone number. See how I just picked up?
That does sound better than like, oh, shut up.
Bloody hell. See how? But imagine if you're in a room of people and
Yeah,
everyone is
everybody-
just
yeah,
going,
yeah,
"Oh yeah,
yeah.
hey Google." Blah, blah,
But also, I
blah."
think it's the fact you're personalizing, going, like, personifying it, I'm not too sure. Hey Siri, you know, like, oh, I think like just
That
saying
just
Google is a
activates
bit
it.
better. Yeah, but I think it's just like, I don't like it. It's like I've got this like servant or something, and I'm like, I feel lazy.
It
I
is
just-
a
I should do it
servant.
It
myself.
is a
It
service.
is.
That's what
I
it
don't feel
is.
comfortable with that. I just feel like I do it myself because I'm not a lazy cunt, you know? That's
You're right there on the edge, age-wise. The demographic that would actually... I think, like, you two are right there in the middle of the people that are like, fuck that,
yeah.
or they love it.
Yeah.
People in my age group and older hate it because it's so foreign, and they struggle with it because it's newer technology. And I don't know what the younger people are doing with it. I have
No, yeah, you're right. As we move further generationally, there's going to be, it's just going to be the normal thing that, like, because even for us, when like we saw like the Nokia 3310 and blah blah blah, then suddenly they become smartphones, and so that like this sort of stuff is still currently like a little bit alien to us in terms of like how you can actually use it. But people are growing up with just like, you set up your phone, and part of you setting up your phone is like being like, oh hey Siri, hey Siri, hey Siri, hey Siri, like 5 times, so it can recognize your voice, and then that's just like as part of getting a phone, you set that up, and then from then on, it's just you're just living that Siri lifestyle.
That is going to be the absolute like most primitive shit ever in like I'll say 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give it 10. I'm thinking 5, but I'll say 10.
The fact that you have to say it.
Yeah, that's
Well,
dumb.
you're just going to think
gonna-
it and be like, "Blah."
I'll
But it
give
will
that.
just be that you start talking and you don't even have to say anything. It'll just be that you start talking and say, you just be like, write this message and just say something and it'll just send it.
I reckon it's going to be hooked up to your brain. You have a thought, and then it's like, great, the nearest Zara is here.
Sure,
You're
why
like,
not? And it's going to project. It's going to project that shit right in front of you.
Oh, yeah, like Minority Report.
Yep, that's exactly what's going to happen.
You like look at people and they'll be like, "This is Liam's brag," and then it just like all your like social media be around you. Oh, he just tweeted, he just did this shit. Now he's going to a hacker. Blah 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 blah.
We can have an information overload where it is literally just going to be just constant, just everything just in your face to the point where it is literally just coming at your eyeballs and it's literally just like you say, it's just screens, but like it's somehow projected through here and you've just got...
Yeah.
It'll be on your glasses or
Yeah.
you know how Google
Yeah.
tried to do the Google Glass. It'll be either in your glasses, it'll be embedded in your contacts. I think it'll get to a point where I can take pictures or videos
Yeah.
from here.
By
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
by like
totally
doing some like
agree.
double blink.
Yeah,
Or just be
yeah,
like,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. It's
Whatever,
like
if it's
Black
on
Mirror
my watch or
episodes.
whatever the case.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Absolutely, like tug on the yellow.
Yeah, I don't have to be all like,
Hey,
you know,
Google.
Yeah, like that'd be like the shit one. Oh,
like, he's got that
yeah,
Model 2.
like-
He's still pulling on her fucking ear. Get a fucking real job, bitch. Buy some new tech, motherfucker. But yeah, you'll touch your watch or whatever,
Like
you know,
wink
a
at people
bracelet.
and take a photo.
Yeah, you know, it'll pick up and do stuff for you. And I think it'll become so commonplace that it won't seem like an overload.
Yeah.
Because if you really think about, I know you won't be able to grasp this because you're 30, but
29.
I'm not. You'll be 30. When are you turning 30?
Yeah, what's your birthday?
Let's not talk about that.
When are you turning
What's
30?
wrong?
February.
You're already
February.
30 years old. All right.
Yeah.
Technically, you were
Like
9
35.
months old when you came out your mom, so you already.
I refuse to believe that.
You're already 30.
I've actually, that's the first time I've ever thought about that,
Yeah,
math like that.
same.
But
Never thought about that.
Yeah, so
Um,
you were already almost a year old when you were born. So I don't believe in that birthday. It's just your birthday. It's not your live date. Anyway, so yeah, just
Like-
fucked y'all up with that one, didn't I? So
you got me with it.
So,
Jesus. My life's upside down. I've just lost 9 months of my life.
You
And I
did.
didn't even realize.
So if you think about this, and I was watching this comedy special, and this guy, he's about my age, and he was talking about, he's like, clap your hands if you're over 40 or something like that. He's like, here's something that's gonna fuck you up. You only got about 30 summers left.
Jesus. Oh,
Isn't that messed up?
That's pretty messed up.
30 is not a big number, is it?
no.
It's relative, but I only have about 30 summers left.
No.
I do.
But that's weird. That's
I doubt it.
that's-
The way
That messes with your head, surely.
science is advancing, I reckon we're going to be like dying when we're 100.
More people are living to 100. But
Yeah, true.
It's
True.
gonna,
Do
it's
you
gonna
want
be
to
a
live
good
to 100?
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Whether it's going to be a good quality of life, I
Exactly.
probably don't think so. But
maybe it
Not
will,
so
because
much.
you'll just be on your deathbed. You're like, oh,
We'll
Google,
have robots
Google,
that
get
do
me a
all this
drink.
shit for us.
Yeah.
See, exactly. So what I was going back to was, or what I was alluding to was, and I pulled up this Nokia 3300 series phone. Oh my god, right? So that was the shit back in the day. That was like, and that
3310s back in the day
that wasn't
were
that
the
long
business. No.
it's not that long ago. So if I go back to when I was like 15 years old, back in like the 80s, yeah, the 80s, what? So y'all know nothing about that shit, son. So what we have now for information is clearly an information overload. We used to get people used to come to your house. Hey, I'm selling encyclopedias. Da, 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 da. So if I wanted information, I had to go L and pull out the L book, you know, and hopefully, you know, something about Lima, Peru is in this book. And it's like 2 paragraphs, and I got to write a fucking essay on that shit. Type in Lima now. Everything for Lima's popping up there. And it's all right here or right here.
Yep. You
Right?
don't have to go there. You
I
can
don't-
go on your watch. You could probably go on your watch right now and find out about Lima if you want.
Dude, I could say, hey, Siri, tell me the most important shit about Lima, Peru, and she's just going to go, blah, 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 or Google or whatever the fuck, right? Not the same. So I don't see as what we have as an information overload. I see it as a surplus of information. I think it's great. The younger people are smarter than we are, at least my generation, because they have more access to more information. You just do. And you've got more access to stuff and more opportunities because people in my generation created that shit for you. Go.
You're right in that your generation created it, and you're the pioneers of actually making it. We should be the smartest we've ever been. We should be, because we have enough information to learn everything about everything.
Yeah.
We are actually, in giving everyone this information overload and having everything so easy at your fingertips, we're making people even more stupid than they've ever been, because everything is so easy to access that there is no value in like going to the encyclopedia, trying to find L and actually reading about Lima Peru and then trying to write an essay about it.
Well, you
Whereas
still
now,
have
I
to
don't
read about it and to write the
I-
essay.
I
You're
don't
questioning the
really.
quality of the information that people can access. Is that what you're...
Well, half of it is
Getting
in the
out.
quality, because, like, with, I don't know, things like fake news and blah, 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 is that, like, half of the stuff you don't even know whether to believe it anyway. And obviously, with the internet, there's loads of people with loads of different angles and people trying to make money off, you know, this and that and influence and whatnot. But with everything coming so easy, it's in the same way that, like, the dating game has changed with Tinder. So you connect with people less because there's so much option and opportunity out there. You learn less because it's so easy to also then just forget about it 2 minutes later because, oh, I was looking for Lima Peru and then I got a notification on Facebook that someone liked my photo. Boom, Lima is now completely the back of my mind
But
again.
that's evolution, though. That's just the path that we chose to take. We either choose this or we reject it. So we accept it and bring it into mainstream, or we reject it and it becomes lamestream, right? So we wanted this, otherwise we wouldn't use it. So we've accepted it, and we like it more than we don't like it, or we wouldn't be using it. So I think we're happier with what we've got versus what we had. Otherwise, wouldn't we still be...
We like it, but it seems to be morphing into something that a lot of people actually don't like again. It's almost gonna get like the AI thing. It's kind of almost gonna go at some point. It's gonna sort of go out of control, and it's gonna keep going because it has to keep going. And the snowball is already rolling downhill. So at this point, we can't stop it. Just fucking get out the way and just wait and see what happens, and try and enjoy yourself at the same time. But people can choose to use the internet for whatever they want. You could learn Chinese in a year if you wanted to use the internet for good. Nobody does. Because it's going to make us stupid. Because, like, oh, I could, and it's there, and if I want to, it's there, but it'll always be there. So if I want to learn it, I will, but I never will.
Well, we have a shorter attention span, no doubt, because
Yeah.
we have so many more options to things to entertain us. So just like if you turn on Netflix, it's like you've got too many options, or I don't watch stuff because there's just too much content.
Yeah, but most of that content is shit.
Yeah, but that's the problem, too. How
Yeah.
do we weed through it?
But then I think we are in a better position now than we were previously. I think it's just people need to rely on their common sense, and they need to go through the information. And that's the thing, is that you're going to see a lot, like a wider spectrum of opinion, which is great. But I think then if you're doing research properly, you probably land on a middle ground. But it's good to be aware of these opinions that were very alternative or whatever, left wing, and that weren't publicized much. So it is good. Not whether you don't necessarily have to believe it, but to be aware of those arguments. I think that's empowering.
We're 100% in a better position with having access to the information. I don't think we're going to use it very well in general.
I think some people do. I think
some
it's a
people do.
generational
On
thing.
the mass, we probably won't.
And there will be some people that use it and make great things out of it. But the majority of people will, oh, hey, let's learn about Lima Peru. Oh, I've just got a pop-up from someone of a monkey riding on a pig's back, and that video lasts 30 seconds, and that's going to take my attention away. And by the time that video is finished, I have no idea what I was doing.
Those people are dying, I think. I do. I think what's going to happen when we were looking at these TikTok videos. I shouldn't have said that because it kind of makes me have to put these videos in order now. Shit. But we were looking at TikTok on a different episode. So what happens when these people, and I see people getting their social media accounts taken, you know, Facebook says you can't say this, that, or the other, so they say we're taking your account. You don't own any of that stuff. You know, I'm an influencer. This is my livelihood. This is where I make my money. What happens when that avenue's not there anymore? And then what happens in general life when you grew up just now, you're 15 years old,
Mm-hmm.
right? And all you know is I'm going to be an Instagram model, or, you know, I'm going to get a YouTube channel, because that's what you see.
Yeah.
You see young people making millions on doing stupid shit. They don't have to go to school or nothing for that stuff. Whereas we had to go to school. You got to go to 12 years of high school, or through high school, then you go to 4-year university. You know, you're 21 by the time you get out. I got 15-year-olds that are making millions, and they don't even leave their parents' house. So where's the incentive? Where's the motivation to get me to go do that? So what happens to society as a whole when you have an entire age bracket that was brought up like that? What are they going to be contributing to society when Facebook and Instagram and whatever else is no longer there for them to make money on? Because they're not trying to learn what to do with life. So how do
That's
we...
part of the problem, though, is that, like, if we were, there almost needs to be more education when people are younger, as to, like, almost just to teach people, like, this is what you can, if you learn what information, how to decipher what's good and bad information, or generate your own opinion about information, etc., and, like, how to use the internet and how it can be used for good things and how you can use it to learn, rather than just use it to surf the web and just get lost in a field of terrible websites for 3 hours without even thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I don't really know much about the world of influencers, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from, thinking, okay, these kids, I mean, what are they really contributing? But at the same time, there is some marketing prowess, being articulate. So, and if they're making a lot of money at a young age, hopefully they're going to be surrounded people that could advise them wisely. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think, if anything, maybe we should see this as more empowering.
So what
that
happens?
People can avoid those conventional 9-to-5 jobs.
So now we're back to those robots again, because we need them now. Don't we? Cause
always goes back to the robots.
who's going to bag my groceries? Who's going to make my cocktail? Because nobody knows how to make drinks now, because the bartender's gone. The robot measures a perfect shot, just like that thing has a perfect shot in each chamber. Then you just push the bottom and a perfect shot dumps into it. So how hard is it for me as a computer engineer to develop something that will literally, you know, bring the vodka to you, pour the exact amount? As a bar owner, I'm not losing money and you giving out free shots. Yeah, okay, you came here to talk to the bartender.
There would be a bit of interaction. I think you can have robots preparing the drinks and stuff, but you can have somebody to say, hey, what do you want? And then, hey, Siri.
I think it'll all be tablet driven.
That's the thing, yeah.
I'm not leaving the table.
Yeah.
I kind of like that, because I think I mentioned this on a previous podcast, that I really hate that when you're queuing up and like somebody else gets served before you.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, we should have the whole bitch system when you take a number.
Yep. Yeah,
But yes,
that's right.
bring on the robots.
See?
If they are gonna serve out
Just you wait, though.
queuing justice.
Just you wait, though, for that one night where there's a power cut and all the tablets are down and no
true.
one knows what to do with their lives.
Or maybe the robots will go crazy and they're just serving shots, just spraying tequila.
Or the internet, something happens to the tower that like delivers the Wi-Fi signal. I don't know, storm, bad weather, blah blah blah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then suddenly we can't go to a bar because the robot that makes us drinks, the signal isn't working. We can't go to the nightclub because the robot DJ can't play no music because it's not hooked up to Spotify. Spotify.
You got to sort it out. You got to figure it out, man. There's going to be hiccups along the way, but
Which is why you're going to have to be an engineer.
Our phones die. That hasn't kept us from having phones, has it? It's not like, well, my phone that plugs into the wall, it doesn't need any power, and I can pick it up and talk anytime I want. This thing dies after 12 hours. What if I'm out driving cross country? You develop the fucking car charger.
Yeah, well, no, you don't even do that. You
And
do
now
that,
you
now
got
the
the
wireless charging thing.
battery
So
blocks.
now you just leave it on the
Yeah,
thing.
that too. But yeah, so there's all these. We make adjustments. I get what
Yeah.
you're saying. I totally agree. Because anytime I'm in LA and I'm going into that MRI machine and that thing's like this, and you ever been in an MRI machine? It's the worst. You ever been in one?
No.
It's like a fucking tube,
Yeah.
and it's literally this far from your face. And they slide you in on like a, you know how you see like movies in the morgue and they pull you out? That's what it's like. They slide you in this thing. It looks like a donut.
Yeah.
And it's literally that far from your face. And it's making all these loud magnetic noises, but you're all the way into your feet.
Yeah.
So I'm tubed up all the way. So what if there's an earthquake right now? And all the power dies. How the hell am I getting out of this thing?
Oh, no, but hospitals have a backup generator.
Of course they
and
do.
Stuff, so.
But I've already had the heart attack. I'm dead because I'm panicking to shit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to wiggle down this thing. So technology, good and bad.
Yes.
We have all these. I was reading about these vaping things now. That's technology. So
Yeah.
we brought that in to help curb smoking.
Uh-huh.
So now people don't smoke as much, or at least they don't say they don't. And they're using these e-cigarette things, and they smell, and they don't smell like cigarettes in your clothes, blah, blah, blah.
Smell nice.
So now there's people dying or getting sick from them.
Okay.
Because we've only had them out for, there was no real research done.
So why are they getting sick? Why are they...
Well, you're inhaling, you're still inhaling smoke.
Yeah.
And it's oil that's burning, and now you're inhaling that into your lungs.
But that's less harmful than if you had continued to smoke cigarettes.
It
right?
is, regardless, but it's like saying, well, I don't drink, vodka straight. I mix it now. You're still taking
You're gonna be like, hey, that's
something-
progress.
But with
damaging.
technology, it's another thing of it kind of almost like it creates its own steam, and then it starts to spiral. So at first it was just as a thing of like, oh, to help you stop smoking, you have this thing, and you'll take it in, and then you'll blow out like a tiny puff of smoke, and then that'll be that. Now I see like a plume of smoke that comes
Way
out for
more
about
smoke out of those
that comes
vapes.
out literally that it would take probably like 300 cigarettes in one go. You can literally just plume this stuff to the point where people are doing tricks and all sorts. So again, it's something that starts off almost innocent in its own right, but then people want to take it further and further and further and further.
And now you have younger
and it's still
people that
untested.
are starting to smoke because of that. We're like, well, it's not as bad, so I can, I will start using that.
Yeah.
And now I'm just bypassing the cigarette and going right to this thing because it's not as harmful.
And we still don't, like you say, we still don't know in the same way that people didn't know what the effects of cigarettes were for however many decades. We are not going to know what the effects of vaping is for another 20, 30 years.
But nobody
We can't-
went into it thinking it was harmless. It was never
People thought it was-
advertised as so.
I think it was.
I think it was advertised as being less harmful as cigarettes, but you've still got nicotine in there and stuff, haven't you?
Yeah.
To a lesser degree. So, I mean, like, how naive are these people?
I'm sure
I
it was
mean-
advertised when it first came out. When someone first came out, were advertised as harmless because I think people were saying it's only water vapor that you're inhaling, so that.
Well, if it's water vapor you are, okay, then it should be completely harmless. But I think we're talking about a different kind of beast now.
That's the thing. Because people take the technology, start trying to develop it, and then we just end up with this thing that we can't control anymore because people have just decided more smoke, bigger, better,
Yeah.
badder, yada yada yada, and then here we are.
I thought the whole idea was for it to contain nicotine, so people could.
They don't now. They don't now. Not necessarily.
Yeah,
Before, they
but I
did-
think that was the main driving force, right?
Before it contained nicotine because it was the thing to get people off cigarettes, so it still had to contain nicotine because that was
Yeah.
the fix. Now they don't necessarily contain nicotine because it's not about getting people off cigarettes anymore.
Well, some of them have THC in them.
What's
Yeah.
that? I don't know what that is.
Cannabis.
Marijuana.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You can vape that shit.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's dope, but it fucks your lungs up. So
Yeah, but everybody fucking knew that, right? Like,
no.
everybody knows that's a side effect of smoking weed.
No, but vaporizing the weed was always supposed to be a way for it to not have. You're not burning the plant.
Mm-hmm.
So by literally heating the plant up to a temperature where it just starts to break down, you're taking in the pureness of the plant,
Okay.
and you're not lighting a lighter to it and putting, butane or whatever to it.
You're basically steaming it.
More or less. You're still cooking it, but it's not.
Yeah.
You're not breathing in the carcinogens from lighting it and actually burning it.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be better. It goes into your system. That's what an actual vape
Yeah.
was. So that's me sticking it to a machine that heats it up, and there's no oil or anything in it. Now, when we've made it all nice and convenient, because that's what we do with everything and make it portable, it's an oil now. So now you can put it in the oil and you can push a button and it heats it up. But you're sucking in all that oil. And that's where the problems are coming. They're saying it's more these THC cigarettes and that they think are causing the problems. But I didn't know that they didn't do them with nicotine anymore. I thought they all had nicotine.
That's what I
What's the
thought.
point?
Well, it's because people now just want. It's about the smoke. The reason why people are getting plumes of smoke is because you want to see something out of it. If they were tomorrow to make a rule that like if you had a vape you will get the flavor but you won't get any smoke, I guarantee you at least 60% of people wouldn't do it anymore. If there was no smoke whatsoever, so you were just someone that was literally just sucking on this thing and putting it down, getting some flavor yourself, but no one could see it, 60% of people minimum.
I think that sounds
overnight
better. I reckon you do that in the office more. It'd be more like
You
socially
could.
acceptable. You do it in the club, it'd be fine because you haven't got smoke.
But those would be more for the people that actually feel like they need a fix that have been smoking and stuff. But people in general, there would be a huge percentage of people, if there was no smoke, would stop instantly.
I like the feel
100%.
of smoke going down my throat when I smoked.
Well, so I smoke shisha
I
or
love
hookah or whatever.
shisha. Shit.
So I smoke that, right?
Yeah.
If tomorrow, however shishas are made, if no smoke was to come out, I'd stop in probably a month because I'd go a few times and I'd be like, this just doesn't feel the same, and I just wouldn't go anymore, and that'd be that. And it would be the same thing with vapes. Take the smoke away, you 100 people stop. The majority of people stop.
But you know what? I can't really have sympathy for these people. I really don't. I mean, come on. Like, do you think like people like babies are born with like just like smoking something? I mean, obviously it's something that's like, was it extraneous to your body? Like, it's not natural. So what do you expect? Like, oh yeah, it's gonna work in perfect harmony with my body. Sorry, don't have much sympathy.
She doesn't give a shit about you, and that's that. And deal with it. She hates robots and technologies. That's Jamiroquai over there, and Liam Sprague.
Can you put like an online poll or something like that? Because this
How many A's?
The voice
A's
of
or
reason
70?
supports technology, much like myself. Although I just want the robot for the household type stuff, you know what I'm saying? I can still go out
Right,
and
baby.
bring home the bacon, but I don't want any of the drama. If you want a sex robot, siliconetit.com, siliconeslut.com, one of those websites. Go to both of them. We'll give you a discount. And don't forget to rate, review, subscribe if you're listening on iTunes or Podbean or Spotify. And if you got Spotify, go get yourself a free Google something so you can talk and it can listen.
if you live in the US.
If you live in the U.S., if you don't, they don't care about you. Thank you, Google. Thank you, Spotify. Still looking for sponsorships. No! We don't want to listen to
Thank you by Dino.
Dildo. And it starts playing that shit. Turn my fucking music off and put it on the phone. See, this is prime examples of why technology ain't shit right now. So,
Why is it gone to that?
I don't know, because this fucking shit.
Was I saying thank you to the future sponsors?
Yeah.
There we go. It's optimistic. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. Tune in.
Okay, well, Ariana's going to be here next week.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming down. Check us out. Tell us what you think of Jenny Podcast's Hot Pink Pants. Send us your show topics. Yeah, what happened with the celebrity thing that you wanted to do? Should have forgot already.
What's the... the celebrity problem hotline.
Yeah. We need to get that kicking. So we'll have that up for next week or something, or maybe the week after.
Ooh, Halloween special.
We're out. Thanks for listening.